So My Hero Academia has a lot of interesting characters, right? But not all of them are in the My Hero 1 Justice series. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and today we're doing another episode of the How They Can Work series. In this series, we look at characters that are not in My Hero 1 Justice 2, and we try to break them down to create movesets for them, so hopefully one day they will become a playable character. So in today's episode, we're going to be talking about the pro hero Midnight. So I think Midnight has a good chance of making it into the game because she's another pro hero, she's a UA teacher, so I feel like those two things alone will help her get into the game because I feel like the game needs more pro heroes and more teachers and stuff, so I feel like Midnight has a good chance of making it into the game, and we're going to try to make a moveset for her. So in the My Hero 1's Justice series, each character usually has a normal attack, a red attack or an unblockable, a yellow attack or an armor attack, and they also have a quirk 1, a side quirk 1, a quirk 2, and a side quirk 2, and they also have a plus ultra level 1, 2, and 3. But in this series, we don't look at the normal attack because it's usually just the same punch or kick, and we don't look at the plus ultra level 3 because it's just 3 plus ultra level 1s combined into one big attack. So we only look at the unique things in this series. So yeah, that's how the series works. So let's just dive into this moveset. So Midnight's quirk is called Somnambulous, and it basically allows her to kind of like produce this kind of pink mist from her body that puts people to sleep. It works better on guys than girls, and she also has like a ton of different tools she likes to use during fights and stuff, and basically including the tools and her quirk, I definitely think she can have like an interesting moveset, and we're going to try to turn all that into a moveset right now. So starting off with her quirk 1, I have it labeled Whip Strike. This is where she uses her whip to kind of like strike the opponent multiple times, so it's basically kind of like a ranged rapid jab, so that's really good for combos and stuff because again, you want moves that are good for combos, and this move is kind of it. And also a plus side to it is if you hold and charge down the quirk special, so basically if you charge it, instead of doing a ranged rapid jab, she does one whip strike which knocks the opponent into the ground, so you can't follow up after it, but it does good damage, so basically it's good to end a combo with. So this move is just good for combos and stuff, but also it lets her use her tool, which is the whip. We've seen her use it during the end of the semester test arc when she was fighting Sero and Mineta, so it's kind of cool that we get to see her use this tool in one of her moves and stuff, and overall I think that makes it a pretty interesting move because it's like a reference to the series, but also it's just good for combos in two different ways. Good to kind of like extend combos with the ranged rapid jab, but also good to kind of like end combos with the charged quirk special. So overall I think it's a good quirk 1. Moving on to her side quirk 1, I have it labeled Where Are You Going? This is where she uses her whip and kind of like grabs the opponent and pulls them in really quickly. As the opponent's getting reeled in, she puts her whip away, so basically once they're like reeled in, you can continue with the combo and stuff. It also pairs really well with her next quirk special, and you can actually hold this attack and it becomes a red attack. So it's kind of like Eraserhead or Shinso's ranged grab, it's basically just a ranged grab. But unlike Eraserhead or Shinso's grab, like you know how like when they grab the opponent with their scarf and stuff and then you can like hold them, or you can choose to throw them or pull them in, you don't have that choice. With her, she just pulls them in immediately, like there is no choice. Like she just like, you know what, I'm gonna grab you, and then she just yanks it and then pulls you in. That's basically how her move is different from their grab, because I didn't want it just to be like a copy and paste of like Eraserhead or Shinso's kind of like ranged grab, so she just automatically pulls them in. Like there is no choice, she just does it really fast and then she just pulls them in. So I feel like that works out for her, and it definitely makes her grab different from like Eraserhead or Shinso's, and it's also pretty cool because it links up with her next quirk special, and it's also good just for her combos and stuff. So overall, I think it's a good side quirk 1. So for quirk 2, I have labeled Somnambulous. This is where she uses her quirk and releases a pink mist from her body, which covers a short area in front of her, and the mist stays there for a couple of seconds. If the opponent makes contact with the mist, they basically get stunned because, you know, the opponent is put to sleep by the mist. That's how her quirk works, so that's what the mist does. Also, another thing they could do is with the animation, it could be maybe different depending on like the opponent's gender, because in the series we know her quirk works better on guys than girls, so it'd be interesting to see if they gave this move like a unique animation depending on what the gender of the opponent is, so that'd be pretty cool. So yeah, I think this move is pretty good because there's two uses with it. You can use it to extend combos because it's a stun, so you can use it in the combo. Like I said with the last move, this one pairs really nicely with her side quirk 1, so you can kind of just use that to pull the opponent in, and because she puts the whip away, you can just use this move and basically stun them and they fall asleep, so you can extend a combo. Or if the opponent's kind of like rushing at you, you can use it to kind of stop them and then get a stun, and then basically that's a free combo right there as well. So overall, I think it's a good move, and it's cool that it uses her quirk, so overall I think it's a solid quirk 2. Moving on to her side quirk 2, I have it labeled Fan Slap. This is where she uses her feather fan and basically does one strike with it, slapping the opponent and knocking them back slightly. A bonus of this quirk special is if she does her quirk 2 first and releases some of her mist from her quirk, when the slap animation happens, it will spread the mist further, turning the mist from a short range attack into a medium range attack. Also, it will make the mist spread out a bit, so it increases like the size of the mist as well. So I think this side quirk 2 is pretty awesome because, well, first off, we get to see her other tool, which is her fan, because in one of her moves she has her whip, and the other one she has her fan, and these are like her 2 main tools she likes to use in the series, so that's a pretty cool reference. Also, it's good for combos because it only knocks the opponent back slightly, so you can actually follow up with a combo. And another bonus is it kind of like increases her quirk too, so it changes like the range of the mist from a short range to a long range attack, and also it makes the size of the mist increase as well. So yeah, I think this is a pretty solid side quirk too because of those reasons. Again, it's just good for combos, it's a nice reference, and it also helps her boost her quirk too. Moving on to her red attack, I have it where she does one quick strike with her fan, and for her yellow attack, I have it where she does like a spin attack while using her whip. I think this red and yellow attack suits her because it allows her to kind of like use both of her tools again with her fan and whip and stuff. And again, that's just a nice reference to the series because we know she uses these 2 kind of like tools and weapons while she's fighting and stuff. So that's pretty good. And these moves are just solid for combos. So overall, I think these are some solid red and yellow attacks for her. Moving on to her level 1, I have it where the animation begins with her releasing her quirk, which surrounds her, and she would then begin to hit the opponent with her whip, which makes it kind of like a ranged level 1. She would then finish the animation by switching to her fan, and she would send over the mist that has been surrounding her during the level 1 to knock out the opponent and put them to sleep, finishing the level 1. So that means after the level 1 is over, you get a free combo. A plus side to the level 1 is if the level 1 misses, she still does the animation and stuff, but if the opponent gets too close to her, they fall asleep because of the mist that's surrounding her. So basically, it's kind of like got like a bonus effect if you miss it because she still has mist surrounding her. So if the opponent gets in too close or they try to attack her while she's doing the level 1, they fall asleep because of the mist that surrounds her. So overall, I think this level 1 is pretty solid because of that reason, but also, again, it's kind of like a cool ranged level 1 ability. So you don't have to be like right next to the opponent, like you can still do it from a distance because she attacks with her whip and stuff. And it's also pretty cool that you get a free combo afterwards because after she's done with the level 1, she sends the mist over, so they fall asleep. So that's why I think it's a solid level 1. And moving on to her level 2, I have it where the animation begins with Midnight releasing her quirk that spreads quickly and heads towards the opponent. The camera would then cut to the opponent who would cover their mouth, and basically they would start trying to walk backwards. And the camera would then cut back to Midnight, who is now slowly walking out of the pink mist, and the camera would do a close-up on her face, and she would be making the same face she had when she fought against Mineta. She would then use her whip to attack the opponent multiple times as they keep trying to cover their mouth, and then as the opponent is dazed but still trying to cover their mouth to not fall asleep, she would use her whip to kind of like grab the opponent and pull them in, which makes them stop covering their mouth because, you know, she kind of like grabs them by the arm and kind of like pulls on them, so they kind of get pulled into the mist, but that also makes them stop covering their mouth. And basically when they reach her, they would fall asleep because of her quirk, and then she would slap the opponent over the head with her fan, and the animation would end with the pink mist clearing, and basically the opponent is sleeping on her lap. So I think this level 2 is pretty cool because it's kind of like a callback to her fight with Mineta and Sero because first off, she makes the same face she made during that fight when she was fighting Mineta, so that's pretty cool. It's kind of like reference to that, but also there's a couple references to the fight with the opponent trying to cover their mouth because, you know, during that fight Mineta was trying to cover his mouth, and then he eventually used Sero's tape to cover his mouth to prevent him from falling asleep and stuff. Also at the end when the opponent's sleeping on her lap, it's kind of like how when Sero got knocked out, it would look like that. And just overall, I think it's a cool level 2 because, again, it incorporates her quirk, it incorporates her different tools and stuff with her whip and fan and stuff. It's also just kind of like a callback to her fight with Sero and Mineta, so I think it's a cool level 2, and I think it'd be a really cool one to see in the game. But that is my moveset for Midnight. I definitely think she'd be a really cool character in the game, and I feel like she has a good chance of making it into the game, if not the next one, because I definitely think the game needs more kind of like UA teachers and pro heroes and stuff, and because she is a pro hero and a UA teacher, I definitely think her chances are pretty good for becoming a character. Overall, I think her quirk and her tools that she likes to use, like her whip and fan and stuff, would be pretty cool to see, especially if you can do like a combo attack with her quirk and her tools, like with her fan being able to like kind of like increase the range and size of her like quirk and stuff. And again, her quirk is just really good for kind of like having like a good stun attack, which is good for extending combos, starting combos. So just overall, I think she'd be a pretty solid character, and I would love to see her come to the game. But if you guys would like to see a specific character in this series, let me know down in the comments below. I'd be happy to try to create a moveset for that character. And if you guys did enjoy, please like and subscribe. That would be amazing. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Later.